to your rich, hot, fun mama episode, which I have also done via video. Let's see how this goes, shall we? I'm so excited for this one because I feel like for the feminine, for the woman, this is just the thing. This is the bit where we go, oh yeah, I'm coming home. And at the moment, my biggest focus on teaching is the spiritual laws and understanding the spiritual laws as they apply to women, as they apply to mothers, as they apply to females. And whilst I love Deepak Chopra, Joe Dispenza, all of the masculine representatives within the spiritual community, I think that the feminine is greatly underestimated, or if she's there, she's a wee bit like too far gone for some people to feel relatable, and it feels super hippie. So me in my flowy white dress wanted to change the representation of women teaching on spiritual laws, on spirituality, on finding your spirit and sharing that with the world. And Deepak Chopra has this wonderful book called I'm just going to miss a word, so I'll just double check that I've got it right. 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. It is available as an audiobook. If you have a Spotify account, you can buy the book. It is not super long. And if you were sort of like, if you've been diving your sort of thoughts into this space for a while, it'll definitely help ground you. Like you'll just be like, oh, all of this makes sense. I know which path to go. But what I really wanted to do is teach on some of the laws in my Academy of Angels and also on my podcast / YouTube, so that I can give my feminine spin on them and share my stories related to them, because I am a mother of 4. I have given birth 4 times. I live in Bali, which is known for being like one of the spiritual meccas of the whole world. It's not as spiritual as you think it is. And I want to share my spin, my take. And so the law that I wanted to talk about today is from the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I keep forgetting to say spiritual. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And I think they're all amazing, and I think they're all super valid and very easy to apply if you get the spin-off right. And so the law I wanted to teach on was the 4th spiritual law of success, and that is the law of least effort. The law of least effort. As soon as I read this, I was just like, I've been teaching on this without saying this law for such a long time, and now we have a law like based on it. And actually he has the best description of what the spiritual laws actually mean at the very beginning of the book. I will share that with you. Before defining the 7 spiritual laws, let us understand the concept of law. Law is the process by which the unmanifest, so what you can't see yet, manifests. It's the process by which the observer becomes the observed. Yeah? It is the process by which the seer becomes the scenery. It's the process through which the dreamer manifests the dream. Okay? So the law is like, there is laws for everything. There is laws for mathematics. There is laws for writing, but they're adaptable to the human being. That's why different languages have different laws of how to write or read, or the way their alphabet is structured. And the same applies to us. You're going to find when I teach you on the laws that some of them are going to be like, Kiki, that is me through and through. And then other ones you're going to be like, it's not for me. It's not for now. And that's all fine. So let's get back to our 7, number 4. The reason I love this law is because for so long, one of my core teachings has been, if you are a mother in this space, when we take out conception, okay, and we think of just growing the baby, for the vast majority of us, with some minor exceptions to the rule, we are not manifesting very consciously, and we create perfect human beings. So you create children with 10 toes, 10 fingers, they have thumbs, they have bums, they have all of the things. And isn't that just wild that you don't go to bed at night going, ooh, I wonder if this baby I'm growing is going to have toes. Like, it's not something you even question. Notice that health is something that people will question about their children a lot, and that is often what will manifest challenges with. And if the majority of the consciousness was worried about our children not having toes, like let's say we had an epidemic of children not having toes, you would find that you would have an epidemic of women who are growing babies who are worried about toes. We're not going to go down that far. So I'm going to read you an excerpt from this and how the law of least effort applies to nature, which is the same that I'm talking to you about with babies, and we'll unpack that more as we go along. So if you observe nature at work, you will see that the least effort is expended. Grass doesn't try to grow, it just grows. Fish don't try to swim, they just swim. Flowers don't try to bloom, they just bloom. Birds don't try to fly, they fly. This is intrinsic nature. The earth doesn't try and spin on its own axis. It is the nature of the earth to spin with dizzying speed and to hurtle through space. Nature's intelligence functions effortlessly, frictionlessly, and spontaneously. It is non-linear. That is such a vital point, especially in the law of least effort. It is non-linear. It is intuitive, holistic, and nourishing. And when you're in harmony with nature, when you are established in the knowledge of your true self, you make or use the law of least effort. Least effort is expended when your actions are motivated by love, because nature is held together by the energy of love, okay? And so when you have your babies, even though it's terrifying and super hard work, when they're little, if you let love be the deciding factor, and sometimes this isn't easy to do at first, and that is the choice that you make things from, then parenting becomes relatively easy. And I'm not saying people who find parenting hard don't love their children, but I'm saying that they're not using love as the deciding factor. They might be using the mind, they might be using effort, they might be using fear, they might be using shame to make parenting decisions, and then that in turn doesn't work in the direction that they're wanting it to. So if you're wanting to apply the law of least effort to your life, you are going to have to learn to flow with things like water. Think of a tree, right, that's growing and its roots are growing, but let's say you put some chairs around the outside. You'll have seen this in any of your local really big parks. The tree will still continue to grow around the chairs. Like, nothing will stop it from growing if it's in a growth phase. Money, business, life, relationships, love. When you're applying that same thought process, you allow it to grow in that way. So if you're trying to grow a business in the law of least effort, it is not about how many hours you put into that business. It is about how much you love and nurture it. How much do you love that business? How much do you love yourself to take care of yourself? How much do you love yourself to choose to meditate twice a day? Like, what are the things that you choose that go through love first? Let me talk about how I homeschool 4 kids and I run 2 businesses, and all of this is done from the law of least effort. Now, when I decided to homeschool my kids, my 2 older kids were in school. My 2 younger ones were here, but not in school. And no, I hadn't had my youngest yet. That's a lie. I just had Saoirse at home with me. When I decided to pull them out, the whole reason I pulled them out the entire foundation of that humongous choice. One, which I'm going to tell you, there really wasn't even a single person who fully supported me on. I felt, and I said it to everyone, in the time that I spent getting my children to school in the morning. And so for me, that was from approximately 6:30 a.m. until, let's say, 9 a.m. by the time I got them in. And even by the time I got home and cleaned up the catastrophic mess from dropping them off. If you have older kids, you might not remember this, but if you have younger kids, this will still be so fresh. So it was like pretty much 3 to 4 hours. I was like, I must be able to follow a curriculum and teach them within less time than that in a whole day. So my theory was, if I took them to school, I would be able to homeschool them in less time than it took for me to get them to school. And I have 100% been right on that the whole time. The law of least effort applied there. Like, I was just like, this is like, getting my children to school felt like a catastrophic effort. And it felt like, for me, I don't actually think homeschooling's for everyone, but it felt like it was against my own nature. I was resisting myself all of the time. So, and it didn't bring out the finest of any of us. Homeschooling was the right choice for us and my family. I have a whole course on that. I'll put it linked below if you are interested. I really do get you through the basics and how that law of least effort really applies as well, because everyone thinks that homeschooling is such a humongous amount of effort, and there is no way that I would ever spend more than 2 hours a day on that type of thing with my kids. Yes, my kids are with me for the entire day, but they're mostly just slotting into my life. So at the moment, they're watching a show while I'm filming this. This morning, they spent some time playing some games. They were doing some craft. They cooked pizzas. They took the dog for a long walk, and then 4 days a week they have some online classes, which are not today. The law of least effort. I have had programs that we've paid for, and then we've had times where we've traveled lots and not done any programs. We just go with what feels right. So it is hot in here today. It's not raining, that's why. So that applied perfectly. With my businesses, now I've had multiple businesses. I've had quite a few product-based businesses, and I put so much effort into them because I felt that they were so required of effort, and they never worked in the way that I wanted them to. But it was such the serendipitous thing to move into online coaching and really metaphysical online coaching, because I just love to share the journey. I love to share the story. I love to share the ways. And I tried so hard on those businesses, and I really didn't need to try so hard. I really didn't need to do so much work. Now I run 2 businesses. I don't work more than 2 hours per day, focus time on those businesses. I do work all day-ish on them. So I will answer messages, social media things, and do social media throughout my entire day. That kind of doesn't stop. 7 days a week, I'm always either creating content, replying to content, creating content. Like, that cycle is kind of never really going away for the 2 businesses, but it fits into my life, and I've known how to slot it into my life. And I do not create special things, because I know the power of just one very random post can go viral. So I really focus on least amount of effort, and then I have 2 hours per day where my kids might have some screen time, or they might be calling their friends overseas. They do things like that. And I will either work on my websites. I will be creating long form content for my membership or for my customers. I write blog posts for one of our businesses. We actually have 3 businesses, not just 2. And we would like to open up a 4th, but that doesn't feel impossible. My staff do the vast majority of the work for one of my businesses. The other one is mostly my baby. And it just follows the law of least effort. I am not efforting. If I'm creating content, it's part of my life. If I'm creating extra content, I'm sort of simmering on it since I will normally do a meditation in the morning, and all of my ideas and concepts come then, and I'll write them down in a notebook, and then I'll follow up with them later in the day if I have time. If I don't follow up with them, I genuinely find they're not the right thing for me to go ahead with. So the law of least effort is just the feminine way. It's like how you would apply this to your everyday life. If you're living the hustle, if you're living the bustle, if you're like doing the hectic life, what I want you to do is go like, where can I let things flow easier? Where could I pull back on the actual resistance of what I'm creating? So what I find is we create all these rules that are full of effort. So women will have ways that they want their cutlery drawer, they'll have ways that they want their pantry sorted, or they'll have ways that they want the washing done, and it will be very effort intended, okay? So it will link back so deeply to effort. But what I want you to do is look at where you want to release yourself from, you know? So if you want to grow a business, if you want to grow your family, or if you wanted to find love, let's say you were trying to find a new partner, would you spend all of your time on apps, like trying to find the perfect dude? Or would you spend your time like at the beach reading a book, and then you bump into someone in the surf or in the car park or like at the grocery store and you're salty and sandy and sexy? Like, what is like the least amount of effort you can do to get everything that you want? And problem is, you've been like programmed that you're a better mum if you work really hard, or that you would do better in school if you tried harder, like if you studied more. This was, such a contrast for me. I met my husband when we were 16, and one time we were lining up for our biology exam, and the boy had not studied at all. And I had like read and read and read, but when I was reading, I just wasn't sticking, because to me it was just so boring. Like biology, you could not get me further from that fact right now. And we're in the line, and I'm like, I know you're going to pass this, and I'm not. And he looks at me and he's like, don't you take a picture of the page in your mind and remember it? And I was like, no, I don't have a photographic memory. Not for this shit. Now, I would say if you'd asked me to have a photographic memory about things, there would be things I would have a photographic memory about. So, the law of least effort is the way. That is also why I try and create these sort of podcasts and laws, sharing my way, a little bit shorter and not too long, because I do not want you to spend ages listening to me. I just want you to know there's a law of least effort with the universe. The universe wants to give you what you want through the least effort. But love must apply first. Love. Trees die, flowers die when like the life force has gone from them. You will have met women whose life force, their prana, their chakras, all the things have gone out. We're not going to be that. Applying the law of least effort in Deepak Chopra's words, and again, I'm going to put my feminine twist on there. So, number one, I will practice acceptance today. Today, I will accept people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur. I will know that the moment is as it should be, because the whole universe is as it should be. I will not struggle against the whole universe by struggling against this moment. Now, for women, for mothers, this is like the art of surrender. It is that we do not fight the situation that we are in right now. We accept it as it is. And as women with our children, we go through hundreds of events daily that would really push our acceptance, but it's our responsibility to shift that into a place of acceptance. Number 2, having accepted things as they are, I will take responsibility for my situation and all those events I see as problems. I know that taking responsibility means not blaming anyone or anything for my situation. My kids and my housekeeper and my dog are outside howling. I'm sorry, but this is where we're at. I am not in a recording studio. I know that taking responsibility means not blaming anyone or anything for my situation. That also includes myself. So we do not blame ourselves for the situation. Yeah. Today, my awareness will remain established in defenselessness. I will relinquish the need to defend my point of view. I will feel no need to convince or persuade others to accept my point of view. I will remain open to all points of view and not be rigidly attached to any one of them. Now, this is hard for you. I know that. So I would like you to practice acceptance. Practice responsibility without blaming yourself. Practice not having to defend yourself. You can stay silent. You can practice box breathing. You can let your mind wander to the dream house that you're building on the ocean on your own. That's my thing. Remaining open to all points of view. These are things that the feminine wants to fight against because she has felt intrinsically battled for so long. Something I really want to remind you is that you are not your mother's problems, okay? Because a lot of the stories that you're carrying now came from your mother, who came from her mother, who came from her mother, and you're still telling the same stories. Fuck the stories. New stories, ones that you could not even begin to imagine are going to come true. Realities beyond the mind. We're going way beyond the mind now. Beyond what you can see, and we're dreaming really, really big. Yeah, with the law of least effort. I'd like to thank Deepak Chopra for that one. It is like my girl code hack. If you like this, click subscribe, share it with your friends, do all the things. All the links are below. I love you. And if you share it on your stories, every month I give someone a chance for a free spot in the Academy of Angels. So we take all of the story shares for that month, put the people in a hat, metaphorically, and those people, one of them gets